Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Darlene Danos, and I'm here today to, I want to teach y'all how to make a roux. A roux is something that you start off with for like a chicken stew, shrimp stew, beef stew. You could use it for gumbos to start. You could use it for sauce piquant, courtbouillons, but they're red gravies, the sauce piquant and the courtbouillon. You would have to add tomato paste to the roux, and I just want to show y'all how to get started, and maybe y'all can fix a Cajun dish like I do every day. So hold on, and then we're gonna get everything situated, and we'll start the video. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay, I got my a pot uh, on medium. I'm gonna add 1 cup of oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, any of your oils will work. With that, I'm going to add 1 cup of flour. When you make a roux, your oil and your flour is always the same ratio. Okay, and this you just stir up, and you're going to keep stirring. You don't want it to burn, and it'll get all the little chunks out. It's going to blend easy. But one thing for a roux is that you have to make sure it does not burn. Once a roux does burn, throw it away. It has a very, very bitter taste, and it is not good. You won't get a good end result to it, and you wouldn't want to serve this to your family or friends. Okay, while this is starting to get hot and turning brown, I'm going to show you some of the seasonings I put in. Okay, I use Italian parsley, and this is something I grow myself. You could buy it in the store already done, but it's easy to grow. You find a little pack of seeds, parsley with some potting soil, and you can grow your own. What I do is I wash them, and I pick all the stems off. Okay, excuse me. All the stems off. I normally roll it up and just cut it small. You can find a lot of the basic dried parsley in the store. Okay, this is a green onion or a shallot. It normally has a little white tip. In our stores around here, it has the little roots on it. To grow your own, all you have to do is cut the little bottom off, plant the roots into some soil, and you can grow your own green onions, which I have done. And I use green onions in my stew also. So I'm just cutting these up. I did some of the prep work already, so it wouldn't take as long to demonstrate everything. I use bell peppers. They were on sale. I bought a bunch. I cut them up and put them in the freezer. So these are my bell peppers out of my freezer. I use the yellow onion, and I'm using 2 onions because we like a lot of seasonings in our food. And I found an easy way to do your onion. You cut it. The first layer comes off real easy. I have the roots left on the onion, and you just slice it long ways. Normally it doesn't fall apart like this, and then you just cut it like this, and your onions are really cut. The roots help your, supposed to help you, put it this way, your onions from falling apart on you. All right, so a lot of people will use the Trinity, which is onions, bell peppers, and celery. I do not use celery because I do not like it, and so I add the green onions instead. But down here we call it shallots, but in the stores it says green onions. Okay, and I could thank my mom for this recipe. She's the one that showed it to me, and when I got married in '76, I did not know how to cook at all, and I told her I wanted to make a stew, and that's how I learned. But One mistake I have learned, make sure your stew turns brown before you add your water, because being young and not knowing, um, I added everything when my roux was white, and it didn't turn dark. So you have to wait till it turns dark before you put your seasonings or meats or anything into it, because it will not turn dark once you add your seasoning. It cools it down. That way it'll be a white roux. But I'm gonna show y'all today how to make a brown roux. Also, you could find on Amiral's page is www.emeril.com, and type in how to make a roux, and it has the recipe for it there also. But I'm using my mom's recipe. My mom never did cook with celery, so I mean, I don't cook with it. Like I said, I did not like it. But you have to keep stirring this roux because you do not want it to burn. I'm going to say that many times during this video because it's a very important fact. Stir, don't let it burn. Once it starts turning brown, you can see how watery it is right now. Okay, the oil did not really soak up the flour yet, and once it starts turning brown, it'll be thicker, and it well, we'll see it during the process. But you see, I am stirring, always stirring. This might take maybe 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to turn brown. After it does turn brown, I will be adding my parsley, my shallots, my green, my bell peppers, and my onions to it, and I'll let that cook in the roux by itself for a little while so that the taste could all absorb into the roux, and let the vegetables cook a little longer in the roux, because it's very, very hot. It will stop the cooking of the roux, but then the vegetables would start cooking. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, there's one thing I want to let y'all know. Okay. We do cook Cajun style, but it's a misconception on how to cook a Cajun dish. To cook a roux and make it a Cajun dish, a lot of people put spicy herbs and flavorings into the food. We do not cook with a lot of spicy stuff. What we call Cajun is that we're putting a lot of seasoning into the dish. That's what's Cajun. The seasoning is not the spice. Spicy, and I'm pertaining to hot, to make it spicy. So we stir in. You can tell it's still watery, so that means that the oil still has not absorbed all the flour yet. So please remember now, spicy is not Cajun, it's seasonings. My onions, my bell peppers, my parsley, my shallots, or green onions. This is what we call Cajun. This is, it's not the hot is not Cajun. I don't know where they got that from, but it's not Cajun. Okay, so we're stirring up the roux still. It's still real watery yet. And like I said, the roux, you could use it for any kind of stew you may want. I'm doing chicken stew today. You can make a beef stew, you can make a shrimp stew, and when you're making a sauce piquant or a courtbouillon, you start out with the roux, just like I'm doing today, except you're going to add tomato paste. You're going to, oh, you could add the tomato paste to it. That'll give it the red color, and that's what a sauce piquant and courtbouillon is. And this is also a starter for gumbos. Okay, we like to have a little thickness to our gumbo, like I guess to stick on our bones or whatever. But we do start it with a roux, and that's like your chicken gumbos, your well, any gumbo really. See, it's still a little watery yet. But we have to let it brown before we add in our seasoning, because once we add in our seasoning, this roux is going to cool down, and it would not turn any browner than that. So we want it much darker than this. We want it like a milk chocolate brown, like a candy color brown, you know, like milk chocolate. That's what we're aiming for when we are doing our roux. And it'll get there. It just takes a little time and effort, you know, but this is Cajun food, people. And like I said, a lot of these recipes that I have came from my mom herself, and it was handed down through her mom, which was handed down from generations to generations. And I also showed my girls how to cook their roux and stuff, so it will be handed down to their children as well, and their grandchildren. So I'm keeping our recipes alive. That way it follows in the family as our family grows. But like I said, you could go to www.emeril.com and type in how to make a roux. Roux is spelled R-O-U-X. And Emeril's recipe for roux is on his site. But you just got to remember it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So like if you're using 1 cup of oil, you're going to use 1 cup of flour. And like I said before, any oil, it doesn't matter which kind it is, will still have the same effect. The only thing I have never tried was the olive oil. So I don't know how it would come out. That's one oil I never tried, but I tried the corn oil, like vegetable oil. I do the canola, the sunflower oil. I've used all of those before, and those are very good to make stews with. So it's all depending on your preference, which one you would like to use. Now you can tell it's getting a little thicker, a little browner. Right now it's the color of maybe chocolate milk. That's what it looks like today, right now. This is a long process. Like I said, it will take time, but it'll get there. After this does thicken, we will be putting in our seasonings. And then like my grain seasoning, I add a little bit salt. I don't cook with a lot of salt, and I use garlic powder, and I always add more onion flavor. Even though I use 2 onions in this dish, I always use the onion powder because I think the onion makes the dish, and you want to have that flavor in there. So just to enhance the onion a little bit more, I use the onion powder. Yeah, it's getting a little thicker there, but not much, but I can tell the color's getting there. Like I said, it does take a while. Sometimes it takes maybe 10 minutes to make a roux, you know, depending. But I'm cooking on medium right now. I'm not higher than that because I don't want to cook it on a high heat because I don't want it to burn. When you start your roux, you could always cut up your seasoning. Stir your roux every once in a while, but you get all your seasoning ready before the roux gets thick and brown. That way you have it on hand. That way you could add it to the pot when the roux, the color you want it to be. You add your seasonings then. It will then cool off your roux so it doesn't get browner anymore. You can tell it's getting a little thicker. The brown is starting to come in there. Really looks like chocolate milk. But I want it a little browner than what it is. I wanted the milk chocolate cover. If you use this roux at this stage, you would have a light roux, and you got to remember you're adding water to it, so it's going to dilute. So it will actually be a little lighter than this color when you add your water. When I say milk chocolate, I will do I will add my seasoning, which will stop the cooking of the roux. When my seasonings are cooking up some, I try to cook my seasoning so my rice are translucent, whereas it's at this stage you could almost see through your onions. I will add my water to that and then let it start getting thick, and add my chicken, stir it all up, and I'll let it cook, I guess about an hour and a half. And the seasonings and everything, I put a cover on it also. It'll help the chicken absorb all the flavors. And but maybe 30 minutes after it started cooking, I will remove the cover off and cook it for about an hour without the lid. See, it is getting a little thicker. You can even make roux, and if you make too much, let's say, you can even make it, let it cool, and bag it in some Ziploc bags and put it in the freezer. That way you have that done when you want to start making another stew, gumbo, or whatever. You can pull out your freezer and you have the starter already started. You just have to let it defrost in your pan. Might have to add a little bit water to it to defrost it. Add your seasonings then. I wouldn't freeze it with the seasonings. And you have to be patient when you're cooking a roux, because like I said, it might take up to 10 minutes, maybe even a little longer. I've never really timed it. I just cook it, but it's something that we've ate all of our lives. I mean, we have lived off the land here in Louisiana a lot. People still live off the land. And we have game, fowls and stuff that we hunt around here. And of course we always make that in a stew. You could also start with this. You can make a shrimp stew. You can make a crab stew. And shrimp and crab together is also good. And you could even do a crawfish stew. And we do that about this time of the year, the crawfish, because that's when the crawfish starts getting plentiful. And we get a bunch, and we make a boil, and we eat the boiled crawfish, and what was left, we'll take it and peel them and everything and put it in the freezer. And whenever we're ready for a chicken stew, a crawfish stew, we just pull out the crawfish that we had packed. And like I said, you could add any kind of meat to this to make a stew with it. It's all depends what you like. Down here, I live in Thibodaux, Louisiana. I'm about 50 miles south of New Orleans. We eat stews for everything. We do the shrimp, we do the crab, we do the chicken, we do beef, crawfish. You know, it makes a meal. You know, that's how we live off the land. You see it's starting to turn a chocolatey color. We're going to let it cook a little bit longer. And you have to watch because the roux can splash on you and it will burn you badly. I had 3rd-degree burns from roux splashing on me. Trying to stir too fast. Being in a rush. Gonna let it brown just a little bit more. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add our seasoning into it. Got our onions. Bell pepper, parsley, shallots, or green onions. You could hear it sizzling. So it's starting to cool off the roux, which I was making. And we stir all this together. Let that cook a little while. Okay, so you see how some of these onions already started to turn translucent, like right here? Okay, once that's done, you would add your chicken to it. And I have another pot right here. I have another pot right here. I added the chicken to it. I added water, and I de-skinned all of my chicken because it's too much fat in it for me. And I added the water. I got all my seasonings in there, and I'm cooking it about 30 minutes now. So this is like the end product. So I hope y'all enjoyed my recipe. I hope y'all like to try it sometime. You know, it's Cajun, but it's not spicy. Remember, it's the flavoring, the seasonings that makes it different. Thank y'all, and y'all have a great day.